Hey everybody, welcome back to, I don't know why I'm welcoming you back. We've never done anything like this before. We just watched all 3 of the new pilots from Amazon pilot season. So we watched The Tick, and then we watched, I Love Dick? Oh man.
It is I Love Dick, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
I was gonna say, we probably should have at least reminded ourselves what the hell the titles of these things are. I Love Dick, and I'm just picturing the internet now, just chopping that out of context. I Love Dick. There you go. And of course we watched Jean-Claude Van Johnson. So, yeah.
Do we just want to run through it in the order we watched?
That's what I figure. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say that overall, I'm glad we watched all 3. Definitely different feelings and opinions from each 3. And we'll talk a little bit more about at the end, but we also did their review summary thing where like you kind of vote or whatever at the end, and I want to get into some of that, 'cause some of that stuff was wonky.
So we watched this mostly because we heard there was a new Tick show.
Yeah.
And so it's like, Tick, cool.
Right. And just for real quick, a little bit of context, she's way more familiar with The Tick than I am. I'm only kind of a little. I watched some of the cartoons, some of the show, and I don't know if you're super, I don't know like what your level is, but I know it's more than mine.
Yeah, I've seen the cartoon, I've seen the show, I've read some of the comics, so.
Okay.
And to tell you the truth, I was a little disappointed with this pilot. I don't think they cast the Tick very well, because it's like they shoved somebody doing an Adam West doing Batman impression into a Tick costume, and the costume itself, I don't know if it's like overly detailed or just weird looking or what. I don't know. It's just it's not working for me.
Yeah. So to her first point, I was getting that too. So it was interesting when she mentioned that about Batman. That it was very much a bunch of Adam West Batman in there. Citizen, chum, all that kind of stuff. It just had it. Now I mean,
the Tick does say chum, but it was all in the delivery.
The delivery, right? It was like very Adam West delivery. But I am more into the casting on this one than you are. Now I know, but I went in not trying. I turned my Patrick Warburton brain off. Because I know how that works. Like, that is the Tick as we know it from the way we grew up. So it's going to be hard to top that. That being said, I actually liked this Tick. Now, the costume, I kind of agree with you that I can't tell if it's too detailed or too weirdly detailed. And you're right, he does do a bit of Adam West.
Really weird.
Yeah, but I mean, I do kind of like it enough to that I'm not making judgment yet. Like, I need to see more of it to know if I really like it or if it's just meh. But I do like the actor playing him, so I'm down with that.
Yeah.
And then, we did the costume. But I think really more my thing with it was, and again, from what little I've seen, I went into this thinking it was going to be more cartoony and more, just bizarre. And they're really grounding it in a real world situation. And I don't know if I quite like that.
Yeah. It's like when you're talking about something that where one of the villains was Chairface Chippendale, where his head is an actual chair.
Right. Grounding that is interesting.
Yeah.
That being told, what is it, Arthur?
Arthur.
And what's his superhero name? Like, is it like a butter? Did he have one, or was he just always Arthur?
He's the moth.
Okay, maybe that makes sense. That vaguely sounds familiar.
It's a moth costume, but everybody called him Arthur.
Okay, so that's why. But anyways, it's really kind of his story in this first one. It's really showing his world. But I do have to say, his introduction to the villain, the Terror, played by Jackie Earle Haley, which is pretty cool, is a pretty fucked up introduction, man. We shouldn't spoil it here. Like, we'll be no spoilers as best we can in this. But if you want to check that out, you'll see what we're talking about. It's like, what? And also, too, by the way, we'll do that at the end. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of some of the things that they do. Like, I can live. I mean, I'm okay with it. It's just that it's not something you would have seen in, I think, maybe the Tick comic, but I'm not as familiar with that. But it's just going like, really that? Okay.
Yeah, but again, at the end of the day, it was well paced and well shot, all that stuff. So I mean, it's hard to judge any of these shows based on the one pilot.
Yeah.
Because all of them, I think we'd be willing to watch more. Just to still, we couldn't make a decision about any of them yet off the one episode, other than to say we didn't hate anything and we would check out more to see what we really think about it.
Basically, the Tick is It has potential. It's just one of those things where sometimes it's hard to find your footing at first. So it's a little bit of trial and error. Or maybe you just have to get out of that initial, growth pains of laying the groundwork.
And as people watching it, some of it is our responsibility to get over our expectations and let it have its chance to be what it's trying to be. There is a certain level of that. So I say overall, we really like The Tick. We'll definitely check out more. And you're right about the pilot situation because they've only made the pilot. So things like this video or people's comments, they'll probably hear about that. And if we're all overwhelmingly like more cartoony, they'll probably go that direction a bit. Or, that's generally how that stuff works. So that's pretty much how we feel about The Tick, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so next we chose I Love Dick.
Now, I'm gonna isolate that clip and put it on my, you said it too, sorry. And can I just say the reason, we only had intended to watch The Tick.
Yeah.
But there was a trailer for The Tick, and it turned out to be a trailer for all the pilots.
Yeah.
So that's why we decided to watch all of them. And the thing that made me interested in I Love Dick was they showed this one really funny moment because it was relatable to us in the trailer, where the husband and wife are on a road trip, and the wife is chowing down on these donuts and hands them to the husband. Is like, here, put these away. Don't let me eat any more of these. Take these away from me. And the husband's like, okay. And she's like, well, let me have one more. And he's like, no. And she just snatches it out of his hand and eats it anyways. And I was like, oh my God, that's so us. So I was like, oh, that's kind of what I was thinking we were gonna get, is a lot of that kind of stuff.
Well, the thing is, the reason why we had decided to watch all three at this point, and the reason why we went with this one first is because it was actually lower rated.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the stars were a bit lower on it. I think Tick and the John Claude were 4.5, and this was 3. Yeah. And after seeing it, I can understand how it got rated that way. I don't necessarily agree with it, but it's a very different show from the other two.
So the trailer for these pilots said comedies.
Right.
So if you go into this expecting sitcom, you're going to be really disappointed.
Yeah, no, this is actually fairly artsy. It's still linear and still, typically structured. Well, mostly typically structured. There are some artful choices that I'm still not sure how I feel about it in terms of, there's literally some points in the movie. There was this one point in the episode where it kind of goes through the series of freeze frames, and I had to ask wait, did our internet just glitch, or was that an artistic choice in the show? It's an artistic choice in the show.
Yeah.
Also, it's like she said, nowhere near as slapsticky. It is more drama-y. It's very much about the wife and I don't know, I can't.
I think it's sort of the laughing at the absurdity of life.
Of life? Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Because basically Kevin Bacon, which, hey, Kevin Bacon, he is Dick, and he's some kind of professor that teaches writing, and the husband's supposed to go there for a seminar that's supposed to give him solitude while the wife goes off to screen her film at a festival out in Venice, Italy. So already she's a filmmaker, so that appeals to me.
She is actually the female version of him.
Yeah, there was a moment when I was thinking it, and 30 seconds later, she just started laughing. I was like, she's the female version of you, isn't she? And I'm like, oh my God, yes she is. They're a lot of the same neuroses and all that stuff. I mean, not that I'm crazy with neuroses, but you know what I'm saying. It's very similar to me and my way of thinking in a lot of ways. But she gets enamored with Kevin Bacon, and that's a little weird. But
who wouldn't?
Well, yeah, no, fair enough. Especially this version, because this is rugged, tells it like it is. Not Trump tells it like it is, but sorry, just ignore that. Rugged cowboy type guy. So, he gets introduced. I didn't even realize that was him at first, but he's riding a horse into town.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was him either.
Yeah, and it's a very small, desolate, nowhere town that's all broken down and stuff. And but anyways, for various reasons, we won't spoil, her film gets pulled. She has to stay there. She kind of gets infatuated with Dick. That may be the most fun part about this show, is getting to say those kind of things. I'm
pretty sure that's exactly what I think.
Yeah. I mean, they even make a point of that in the show, that she's like, it's interesting you went with Dick. Most people named Richard would be Richard or Rich or Ricky or,
I go by Dick.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, he's very matter of fact. And there's this moment when he kind of questions her about why she makes movies and why she's not doing certain things. And he just calls her on all this kind of bullshit that no one ever calls anybody on, to a way that actually kind of dropped my jaw in a, I should take some lessons from what he just said, honestly, kind of way. So
yeah, you don't have some excuses.
That's true, because he was kind of talking about the plight of women filmmakers having it tougher. And also, it's not a major spoiler, but one of the things I thought was really interesting he mentioned, because also this was made by a woman, so it was that he made this comment about a lot of women-made films suck because they have to hide behind the oppression or something like that they've experienced. So it's one of those like double-edged sword kind of comments, but it's like truthful and interesting and insightful, but really, really liked it. There's a lot of sexuality in the show, a lot of weird, quirky characters we only got tiny tastes of.
Yeah.
But you know, I think
this is gonna be one of those shows where you like the side characters more than you like the main characters.
I agree with that, because I don't know how likable the characters actually are versus how likable they're gonna end up being. But still, it's one of those we're on the fence about, but I want to see more because it is more artsy, and I think that's why it got the lower score. You know, it's not your standard, it's not like the other two that are more out and out laughs kind of shows, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to if they make that one. I would watch more, at least give it a chance.
Okay.
And again, the filmmaking side of things, you know, that works for me. Yeah. I mean, just any other thoughts on it?
If I miss any other episodes, I probably won't care.
I was gonna say, I think a lot of people will feel that way, and honestly, I would feel that way too. Like if I'm not gonna be heartbroken if I don't get any more, but if they do make more, I will definitely check it out and see what I think.
Actually, what would happen is if they made more episodes, it'd be one of those things where Kevin Bacon does something that makes it show up on my EW feed.
Right. Yep. Come watch Kevin Bacon's Bacon. That was the joke, it's like, ooh, there's nudity in this show. And I'm like, of course there's nudity. Kevin Bacon's in it. And spoiler alert, yeah, you get Kevin Bacon's ass. But you know, I can't even complain about that. I mean, what the fuck? I've in my lifetime, I've seen more naked Kevin Bacon than that, sadly.
Was it The Invisible Man?
No, you didn't see any Kevin Bacon. That was a bad pun. No, Wild Things, I think you get a full-on dick shot. Oh. See, Dick, I love Dick. I love Dick. And, you know, he popped a boner in Friday the 13th and all that kind of stuff, so.
Okay.
Anyways, enough talking about Kevin Bacon's dick. So then, we watched Jean-Claude Van Johnson, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. This is Van Damme, son. This might be our favorite of the three.
Yeah.
At least from pilot.
Yes.
Yeah. Crazy premise, but totally works. It was the most comedic. And it's fairly interesting. It's not completely original, but it's somewhat original in its approach.
I don't think I've ever actually seen it done, but the premise is like we said, Jean-Claude Van Damme, or as everybody calls him, JC.
Yep, JC.
Not to be confused with a certain other JC, but
JC. That JC can't do the splits like my man Van Damme. Ooh.
But he can walk on water.
Okay, all right. Yeah, but can he spin kick? But anyways, I mean, again.
Okay, so anyway.
we dig this episode. We want more of this one.
Anywho, he apparently his whole acting career was really just cover for his career working for
Black Ops.
Black Ops.
Not the video game.
But he retired.
Yeah, not Nicolas Cage retired.
Are we just going to do all the jokes here?
No, and that's the best part. We're not even doing all the jokes. It's just there's some really good jokes in this one.
And then he just happens to stumble across an ex-flame.
He's also a spy.
He's also a spy, and all of a sudden he's like, she's the one that got away.
Yeah.
Or
that he let go, kind of.
Yeah, well, we don't know.
That's true. We haven't gotten the whole
story there that we have not gotten.
Yeah.
But in case, it's like suddenly he's like, he gets back in the game because he's got to be with her.
Right.
And so he basically calls his way. No, I'm in great shape and everything. So much.
No, they really, and it's what's really funny though is he's not as in bad a shape as they try to play him out to be.
You can tell that he's like
pushing the gut out.
Really pushing his gut out.
Yeah. But it is pretty funny, and it is good that he will take these cracks at himself.
Yeah.
And the best part for me though is that his cover is he is Jean-Claude Van Damme, action star.
Yes.
So he's so to go to these places he has to get into these shitty movies. And that's his cover. And like her cover is that she's his hair artist and all that. And his weapons guy is the makeup artist. So.
Yeah. And it's just like, and you see them actually shooting the movie.
Yeah, and this is what I want to say, and I'm going to tell you what the movie is, because what I hope happens is like we get multiple missions throughout the series, and he has to keep doing these different movies, because I loved what they did with the first fake movie, and it was this action version, even though it was set in the right period, of Tom Sawyer, where he played Huck, and the woman he loved was Tom Sawyer. Or did I have it backwards?
No, you're right.
Yeah. And then like Ben shows up and there's an axe fight. An Inward Jim, as they refer to him, it plays a bit of a character in there. It was Inward Jim. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a little hard to hear certain lines on occasion, but I mean, I had to turn it out.
I'm sorry, I could never quite catch what they were saying, and I kept hearing inward.
Oh, like inward. Okay, yeah.
You're going inward.
Well, because as soon as I knew it, we realized it was Tom Sawyer and stuff. I wondered how they would handle that. So, I mean, that's pretty funny that everybody, that's how it was referred to, as Inward Jim. You know?
Who was not Luke Cage.
No, but he could be a stunt double for Luke Cage, for stand-in for that actor. But I love that about it. He does go on a mission. There's some hilarious stuff in the mission, and we won't spoil all that. Especially, there's some great conversation about which movie is better, Time Cop or Looper.
You know, I've never actually seen Time Cop.
Oh, this made me want to go watch Time Cop, so we'll have to fix that for you. But spoiler alert, Looper's better. But Time Cop is still pretty cool. But yeah, so it was a really fun one, man. And there's some actual action in it. Because like he's joking about, you know, he's the king of spinning kicks, and the joke about his splits, you know, his famous splits really comes into play in some really funny ways. Yeah, I want to see more of that one. I think that one's going to be really, really cool.
Here's the thing, is where we said, you know, the take has potential to, you know, find its footing and get better. The Jean-Claude Van Damme one has a high potential of playing itself out real fast.
Right, yeah, that could be the trick with this one. It fires on most cylinders right off the bat, and if they go in the right direction, it could work really, really well.
The thing is, if they keep making the same jokes
right, that's the tricky
again,
part. That's the tricky part.
Yeah.
Did they already burn through all the good material, or can they still, you know, find enough to make full seasons?
Yeah.
And I think they will, because I think they hinted at enough other stuff they didn't get into, like the makeup artist weapons guy. There's this little bit, and I won't say too much about it, where like the lady tells her backstory and then she asks him what his is, and there's all these crazy flashes of all this shit he's been through, but he's like, mine's not that interesting, I'll tell you later. So I'm like, that could be one of those things where you start playing down those lines and it could get really interesting. His movie agent's role could get interesting if they play her up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you know, there's places for it to go. And then I was left with a few questions, so you know, they have some room to maneuver.
So yeah, out of the three, I think we're most excited about, you know, the Jean-Claude Van Damme one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's just like we would also like to see Tick, just in hopes that it does get better.
And I'm okay with seeing more Dick. I couldn't not say it that way. This show is designed for my juvenile sense of humor. It just was, or is named for it, anyways. But yeah, so that's our thoughts on the three of them. But before we get out of here, I do want to mention that like I said, we did the review system.
Yeah, Amazon, this is a critique for you if you happen to be paying attention.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions, and I'm fine with that. You know, the system of doing the actual like technical system, totally fine. Like you have some sections where it's like basically rank 1 to 5 kind of stuff, or you know, this or that, the other.
Yada.
Right, but there's questions like, is this a thought-provoking series that changes the way you think? And I'm like, these shows aren't intended to be that. You know, so you feel bad if you're like, absolutely not, because you feel like you're ranking it low, but it's like, that was not what it's trying to do at all.
Yeah.
Like, The Tick is not trying to be thought-provoking, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing is, if you're advertising these shows as comedies, the questions should be more like comedies. These questions were much more suited to like dramas
and art films.
Yeah,
which is fine, and that kind of worked for the I Love Dick show. But for the other two shows, it's very awkwardly placed. And there's some other examples I'm trying to rack my brain of, some weird ways they were asking questions about these shows.
The thing where it asks you your 3 favorite TV shows and then asks you to compare these shows against your favorite TV shows.
Right, even though you've only seen the pilot. And I'll just tell you what my 3 were. What I picked were, in this order, Battlestar Galactica, the reimagining, Game of Thrones, and Batman the Animated Series, because those are just 3 of my all-time favorite things. And then it asks you things like, is this better than Battlestar Galactica?
Is it much better? Is it somewhat better? Is it the same as? Is it slightly worse? Is it much worse?
And it's like, A, how am I going to compare a pilot to entire series of something? B, you don't compare The Tick to Game of Thrones. That's insane. That's insane. So, I don't know. So just, you gotta rethink some of these questions, Amazon, or make them more specific to what you're asking.
Oh, God.
Right?
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining the ticket in the Red Wedding.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Or even just in this last season with the Battle of the Bastards and the big body pile. Just
or, Ticket Ground Zero with throws up.
Oh, God, yeah. Okay, sorry, we had to try and compose ourselves there. We still haven't quite completely done that.
Tick's just standing there going what happened?
Yeah. What happened? Okay, all right. But anyways, so that's what we thought about the pilots. That's what we think about Amazon's critique system. And seriously, if you watch any of these pilots, go do this. Go. It doesn't matter. You can do all 3 shows. You have to do them one at a time.
Yeah.
But just pick one and do it, just to see how awkwardly worded compared to the material you're reviewing the questions are. It's so strange. But other than that, let us know. Did you watch these shows? What did you think? Which was your favorites? Do you agree or disagree with what we thought? Let us know. Talk about it. Geek out down in the comment. If you do the Amazon survey thing, definitely let us know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. She's just still losing it over the ticking Game of Thrones. But yeah, so comment away. You can also hit that thumbs up button. Give me the thumbs up of encouragement. It's always wonderful to be encouraged. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. We do all kinds of fun, nerdy, geeky things every single day on the EricButts channel. Share with your friends so we can all geek out, freak out, nerd out together. That's what we love to do. You can also check the link to Patreon down below. You can help the channel grow, help support it, get bonus content if you want to. No pressure, just letting you know it's out there. And while she continues her giggle fit, I'm going to enjoy her cuteness, and I think we're going to get out of here.
Is it Heesh or Hesh that does the...
How it should have ended?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's, I think, the only guy I can think of who could mash the Tick into Game of Thrones for me.
Oh my God, and I'm pretty sure, unless I'm confusing it with another channel, they now actually have a new series where they do weird mashups. They take a character from one film and put him in a different film.
Oh, please do that for me.
Yeah.
Heesh, Hesh, how the hell you pronounce your name?
It's the letters for how it should have ended. But,
I didn't realize that.
Oh, there you go. You can also learn new things by watching the EricButts channel. We're educational, or edutainment. Yeah, whatever.
Edutainment.
Edutainment, thank you. But yeah, so all right, well, we're going to shut up. We're going to get out of here. We will see you guys later.